There's a very different mood surrounding Gran Turismo Sport now that the online infrastructure has been switched off, and it shows up in the details more than the headlines. A number of systems that quietly relied on a constant connection have simply vanished. Global leaderboards no longer update or even appear, meaning lap times and records exist only on your own system. Player profiles have stopped syncing entirely, so stats are frozen exactly where they were when the lights went out. The in-game news feed is gone too, along with scheduled announcements, event rotations, and any sense that the game world is being curated in real time. Other online adjacent layers were removed more cleanly than you might expect. Automatic downloads tied to live services have stopped, including rotating challenges and any background data checks that used to happen every time the game booted up. Spectator-related features, online viewing tools, and server-side rule enforcement are no longer part of the experience. Even the social traces, activity indicators, player presence, and comparison panels have been stripped away, leaving menus that feel simpler, almost minimalist by comparison. What's interesting is how much has quietly stayed intact underneath all of that. Your local save remains fully functional, including your personal garage data, tuning setups, assist preferences, controller mappings, and difficulty adjustments. Replay files still work locally, letting you revisit past sessions without restriction, and media can still be exported directly from the console without needing an upload step. The game's presentation tools remain surprisingly robust offline, offering camera controls, playback options, and UI toggles exactly as they were before. Customization at a system level is still very much alive as well. HUD elements can be adjusted or disabled, display settings can be fine-tuned, and accessibility options continue to function without compromise. The AI framework is untouched, meaning the game logic, behavior models, and progression gates tied to offline play are all still in place. Nothing feels locked behind a server check anymore, which gives the whole experience a more self-contained, reliable feel. There's also a sense of permanence now that didn't exist before. Without live updates reshaping priorities or rotating content in and out, Gran Turismo Sport feels stable in a way that modern games rarely do. What you see today is what you'll see tomorrow, and that consistency makes it easier to settle in without worrying about missing something, time-limited, or falling behind an invisible schedule. It's no longer a service competing for attention. It's a complete package, preserved exactly as it is. Oddly enough, there are some real positives that come with the online servers going down, and they're the kind you only notice once the dust settles. One of the biggest is stability. The game no longer has to phone home, check server status, or wait on background connections before letting you in. Load-ins feel more consistent. Menus respond the same way every time, and there's no risk of being locked out because a service somewhere else is having a bad day. What you have on your console is exactly what you get, every single session. There's also a strong sense of ownership now. Nothing is being tracked, compared, or evaluated against a global player base. Progress exists purely for you, not as a number on a leaderboard or a stat tied to an account that could disappear later. That makes the experience feel more personal and less transactional. You're no longer participating in a platform designed around engagement metrics. You're simply interacting with a finished game. Another upside is focus. With all the live service elements gone, the game's pacing feels calmer and more intentional. There are no pop-ups nudging you toward the next event, no reminders about limited-time content, and no pressure to log in at specific times. You can take long breaks and come back without feeling like you've missed anything. The experience bends around your schedule instead of the other way around. Preservation is another underrated benefit. Now that the game no longer depends on external servers, it's far more future-proof. As long as the hardware works, Gran Turismo Sport will continue to function in essentially the same form. That makes it easier to revisit years down the line, to archive, and to treat as a complete historical snapshot rather than a service that slowly degrades. In an era where so many games become unplayable after shutdowns, that matters more than people realize. Finally, there's a subtle mental shift that comes with knowing nothing is temporary anymore. No resets, no seasons ending, no systems being rebalanced behind the scenes. The rules are fixed, the content is set, and the experience is predictable in the best possible way. For a lot of players, that turns Gran Turismo Sport into something more relaxing.